I'm Dr. John Berry. I'm 78 years old. I'm not burned out. And I haven't done a kidney transplant for 9 days. We're going to cover 10 different things, starting with the value of life, ending up with death, and then defining life itself. Jack Collin at Oxford made a nice figure about the value of human life. We start out, we have lots of promise. We have our professional lives. We begin to decline. We become a burden to our families and profession, retire, and then die. So where am I in this? Right here on the downslope towards retirement. These are the 10 most important books I've read. The first 5 have to do with religion. Then there's one about civilization, one about combat, a standard reference book, and then the 2 books I'd take with me if I had to practice somewhere else. The most important of the 10 is this one. Published in 1997, it basically describes how we got where we are. There are some runners-up about negotiation, physical appearance, Man's Sport and Existence by Howard Schlusser, a couple of roadless travel type books, and finally Factfulness, which tells us that things actually are pretty good. These are principles I found to be helpful. Leadership is simple. Help other people do their jobs, and they'll help you do yours. Perfection isn't possible, but it must be sought. Opportunity has no value if you're not prepared. Career. Find something worthwhile that you like to do it well, and money will follow you around. Money is important because it allows us to be human beings. Public service is a responsibility of citizenship. If you can't do it, make it possible for someone else to do so. The principles of civilization are quite simple. Do the right thing and look out for each other. Character, advertising, reputation, and finally, character. Every morning when you get up, look in the mirror and ask yourself, who am I? Ask yourself 4 questions when you have an ethical dilemma. Is it legal? Is it fair? How does it make you feel? And finally, what would your mother think about the decision? What is the purpose of a parent? Simply to prepare a child for adulthood. And what is parenting? It's simply a long process of letting go. Some parents are unsuccessful, and they become what's popularly known as helicopter parents. Career. What do you want to be professionally in 5 years? Are you prepared? If not, get so. If you have skills that should be passed on to others, do teaching. If your boss is going to be a competitor, it'll turn out to be an unsatisfactory relationship. Where do you want to live? Where does your spouse want to live? If you're in the military, where does the federal government want me to live? If money is the yardstick by which you'll measure yourself, that's fine. Just be quiet about it. Career. In time of crisis, it'll provide meaning, focus, and stability. Take advantage of it. When to retire? When you interfere with the running of your department. When you don't meet professional standards. When you don't pay your way. When it's no longer magic. If any of the four happen, it's time to get out. What is life as you get older? It's simply always trying to move forward and constantly re-experiencing and re-examining the past. Time management. Do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, and be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. Woody Allen quote, 80% of winning is simply showing up. There are, however, moments we never want to end. You've just come home from a foreign deployment. You're dropped off at the curb. Your 3-year-old daughter breaks away from your wife and runs to you, saying, "Daddy, Daddy." How to become a top performer? Take fewer tasks, obsess over them. If your boss gives you a pile of new tasks, ask him to prioritize them, or her to prioritize them. The best explanation is usually the simplest one. If you can, reorient your work around values rather than your own internal goals. Here's a little test for you. Present an entire talk with one slide. We did that several slides ago. Forget about a work-life balance. You simply have to make choices in any given situation. Make grids if you want to prioritize a task or problem, and ask 2 questions. Is it important? Is it urgent? You can make a grid on paper or simply in your mind. There's a task or a problem. And is it important? Yes, no. Urgent? Yes, no. Here's an example. Pregnant secretary. Is it important or urgent? Not really. Unless you made her that way. Here's life's grid. Like it or not, everyone does this about the age of 40. There's some standard things on the list. You can see them on the left. Then you answer the question, is it okay or not? If it's not okay, can it be fixed? And then what action do you take? This is when divorces occur. Both men and women do this. Men are rather abrupt about it. Women it takes a little bit longer. Here's a vocation grid from our Native Americans. A laborer works with his hands. A craftsman, hand and mind. An artist, hand, mind, and soul. May you all become artists. Dealing with change. When the tide comes in, get in the boat or get off the beach. Cursing. Fudge and sugar don't cut it. Here's a Frank Sinatra quote. And here's another one. Man tends to be most authentic when close to death. Think of the grandfather who makes inappropriate comments about other family members at Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner. True, but sometimes uncomfortable and painful. Life is only 2 things, problem solving and the pursuit of happiness. If you do those 2 things without hurting others, you'll go to heaven. That's all there is to it. The problem with life is, once you figure it out, it's over. Thank you very much.